Hey there, folks. Welcome back, beloved. Welcome to Imago Spiritual Learning and Wellness. My voice is a little bit, I was getting over a throat infection that I had actually a couple weeks ago. And so, anyway, I'm over it. I'm able to speak again, but my voice is a little bit hoarse, but it's all good. And but yeah, welcome back to Imago Spiritual Learning and Wellness, where we are called to be still and know. And real quick, I wanted to discuss the goings-ons in the world today with AI, and it's something that has been the you already know about how AI is really growing, its presence and its is growing, and its impact is being felt in more sectors of in both private and public sector um, in the United States and of course across the globe. But in the modern world, it's really disruptive, and what's going on is a lot of people are losing their jobs, white collar jobs, service. Service industries are being disrupted. So lots of disruption. I think I read somewhere recently that just over 1.1 million jobs this year alone in 2025 have been displaced. Workers have been displaced and replaced. And I guess in the coming months and years, it's expected to gain quite a bit of momentum. That is the job loss. And so the question becomes, like, what do we do about this, right? What do we do about this? Now, people who work in the trades, if you think your car mechanics, construction, carpentry, plumbing, electrician, right? Those industries are safe for now, right? Just for now. Because even if AI cannot displace those jobs, remember, with the help of AI, those industries can be completely reinvented, right? So that efficiencies can be defined in completely new ways, so that fewer skilled workers will be needed. So really nothing is safe in that regard, in terms of jobs and careers and industries. But for now, white collar jobs and lots of service jobs, jobs in this service industry are being lost to AI. And so the question becomes then, what do we do? And what really becomes super important is you've got to define your purpose. You have to be clear on what your purpose is. Right? We have to be clear on that. What is my purpose in life? Is what you do at your job or your career, or if you own a business, is that the entirety of your purpose in life? Is that the defining thing that defines who you are? And maybe it's the measure of your value in terms of what you bring to the world and what you bring to others. You have to think about this. Because what if you lost your job, your career, you lost your business? What happens then? How do you measure your value? What do you have to bring forth? What do you have to contribute to society? And so this becomes absolutely pivotal for not just in terms of how we're going to make money. That might be the least of it, because honestly, the only reason that most of us make money is just so that we can pay our bills, right? So when you say it's if you say that it's really important how you make your money, most of us really are saying it's really important that I continue to be able to pay my bills. And is that really the end all and be all of life? Of course not. It's not, right? It can't be. And so how you make your money, whether it's through a job or through a business ownership, even if it's providing a service, it has to be more than just the money, and we have to redefine our purpose. Because if you suddenly find yourself without a job, or if your industry has been so disrupted that you can't find a job, even if you are skilled, then what are you going to do? It's not just a question of how you're going to make your money, how you're going to pay your bills, but more than that, what value are you going to have in this world if you don't have a means with which to make money and to pay your bills? How do you define your value? How do you measure that? Is it as a mother or a father, as a family member, as a neighbor, as a member of the community? Well, those things obviously are very important, and I would say more important than just your job or your career or your title. But still, it has to get deeper than that, because if our whole sense of self and our whole way of defining ourselves is centered around being a parent, having a family, what if you lose your family? What if you lose your children? What if you lose your spouse? And you suddenly find yourself alone. So do you understand why I say it has to get deeper than even that? It has to get deeper than your job or your title or your business. It has to get deeper than just being a mother or a father or a family member or a partner in a marriage or in a life partnership. It has to get deeper than that. And so I would say that what we are without anything at all is really what we have to imagine. If I had absolutely nothing, if I were in a prison, let's say, if I were in a prison and I occupied a prison cell, and there I was, 24 hours a day, locked up, what would I have then? How would I measure my value? What kinds of dialogue, what kind of internal dialogue would go on within me? What would I connect with? What would I feel connected with? What would it boil down to? And I'm sharing this with you because really it boils down to your spirit and your spiritual nature and your spiritual life. Now, whatever that may mean to you, right? For some, it means their religion. For others, it means their God. For others, it means their belief system. For others, it may boil down to, what race of people they belong to. I'm not going to go there. But some people say that they're the chosen race. What does that mean? What does that mean to you personally if you were locked up in a prison cell? And if you say that you are connected with God, or this God, or that God, or goddess, or whatever it may be, what does that mean? Really, what does that mean? And what would you connect with, and how would you connect? And what would you communicate with, and how would you communicate? If you had absolutely nothing, if you were in a cell, and you didn't have not even a book, nothing at all, it's just you. What is there to you? What is there to you? What are you about? What am I about? What are we about? Individually. What is there to your life? What is there to your existence? These are the things that we have to think about. These are the things that we have to settle on right now and get clear on right now. Because that's what we're going to bring to the world, whether the world is your job, your company, your business, your children, your family, your neighborhood, your community, or your world might be just you alone in a cell, or you alone in a cave, right? I'm speaking kind of allegorically here, metaphorically, when I say that about the cave. So please, beloved, just you've got to really get serious about this, because our world as we know it is dying. The world as we know it is coming to an end. The world that we know is falling apart, it's collapsing. And that means that yes, there's going to be crisis, but there's also going to be opportunity. Where the opportunity begins now, and the opportunity begins with an internal dialogue with ourselves. And that's where our ultimately our liberation and our deliverance and our redemption and our value, that's really where it comes from. It's internal. It's our internal world that really determines what our external world is going to be, what it's going to look like and feel like. So I invite you to really take these questions into consideration and into deep contemplation within ourselves. Okay? It's extremely important. Take this seriously, because very soon your life, my life, our lives may be severely disrupted, and that's real, because it's already happening. It's already happening. So, with that, I'm going to leave you. Many blessings to you and to all that pertains to you, and thank you again for stopping by here at Imago Spiritual